Human beings are curious creatures. We always want to know the unknown. We want to know the future. We want to know the winning lottery numbers. And sometimes we want to know what happened to the people we love. But knowledge has a price. There is an urban legend about an entity known as the Answer Man. He is not a ghost. He is not a demon. He is something much older. Something that lives in the static between radio frequencies. He knows everything. Every secret. Every lie. Every buried body. If you perform his ritual correctly, he will come to you and he will answer one question. But the rule is absolute. When he stands behind you to give the answer, do not turn around. If you see his face, you become the next answer. Sarah was not a superstitious person. She was a rational college student studying journalism. But grief makes us do irrational things. 3 years ago, her younger sister, Emily, vanished on her way home from school. The police found her backpack in a ditch, but they never found Emily. The case went cold. Her parents gave up hope. But Sarah could not. She spent every night on deep web forums, looking for clues, looking for miracles. That is where she found the thread about the Answer Man. It required a specific location, an abandoned phone booth on Route 9, just outside the city limits. It had to be done at midnight, with a 10-cent coin minted before 1980. Sarah looked at the old dime in her hand. It was 11:45 p.m. Sarah parked her car on the side of the desolate road. The phone booth stood there like a tombstone, covered in graffiti and rust. The glass was shattered. Weeds were growing around its base. The wind howled through the trees. It was a pitch-black night. Sarah stepped into the booth. It smelled of mold and old cigarettes. She lifted the receiver. There was no dial tone. Just silence. Dead silence. She checked her watch. Midnight. Exactly. Her hands were trembling as she dropped the old coin into the slot. Clink, the sound echoed loudly in the silence. She dialed her own mobile phone number. This was the ritual. You call yourself, and you chant the phrase. She held the cold plastic receiver to her ear. She waited. Her mobile phone in her pocket started to ring. She did not answer it. She spoke into the payphone. Answer man. Answer man. Please come home. Answer man. Answer man. Pick up the phone. Suddenly, her mobile phone stopped ringing. The line on the payphone clicked. Static noise exploded in her ear. White noise, screeching sounds. And then, a voice. It sounded distinct, but distant, like it was coming from the bottom of a well. I am listening. Sarah froze. Her heart hammered against her ribs. The voice spoke again. I am at the booth. The line went dead. The line on the payphone clicked. Sarah dropped the receiver. She ran back to her car. She locked the doors and sped away. What did he mean? I am at the booth. She was at the booth. Was he invisible? She drove home as fast as she could. Her apartment was 20 minutes away. She tried to convince herself it was a prank. Maybe someone hacked the line. She got into her apartment. She locked the front door. Ted Deadbolt T. She turned on every light in the living room. She sat on her sofa, clutching her phone, waiting. 12:15 a.m. Her phone rang. The screen side unknown. Caller. She knew she had to answer. If she didn't, he would come in anyway. She swiped accept. Speakerphone. I am in your city. Click. He hung up. He was traveling, moving physically towards her. But how was he walking? Flying, using the power lines. Sarah paced around her room. She wanted to call the police. But what would she say? A ghost is calling me. 12:20 a.m. The phone rang again. Sarah picked it up immediately. Her voice was shaking. Where are you? The voice was clearer now. Less static. Closer. I am on your street. Click. Sarah ran to the window. She peeked through the blinds. The street was empty. Just the streetlights casting long shadows. But then, one of the streetlights flickered and went out. Then the next one. Darkness was moving up the street towards her building. Las 12:25. Hymanti. Phone rang. It was a shrill sound that pierced the silence. Sarah answered. I am in front of your building. Claire. She lives on the 3rd floor. There is no elevator, only stairs. She backed away from the door. She grabbed a kitchen knife from the counter. It felt heavy and useless. She heard sounds from the hallway outside. Heavy footsteps. Thud. 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 They were wet sounds, like someone walking in soaked boots. He was coming up the stairs. 2nd floor. 3rd floor. The footsteps stopped right outside her door. The handle of her front door slowly turned, but it was locked. Scratch. Scratch. Something sharp scraped against the wood. 12:30 a.m. The phone did not ring this time. Instead, the landline in her kitchen rang. She didn't even have a landline service connected. It shouldn't be working. Ringing. Ringing. Sarah slowly walked to the kitchen. She picked up the handset. I am behind you. She felt the air in the room drop 20 degrees. A smell filled the room. The smell of ozone. Like a thunderstorm and rotting meat. She could hear breathing. Right behind her left ear. Raspy. Wet. Breathing. She remembered the rule. Do not turn around. Do not. Look at him. Tears streamed down her face. She squeezed her eyes shut. She stood rigid. The presence behind her was massive. She could feel the heat radiating from it. Us. The voice whispered directly into her ear. No phone needed anymore. This was why she did it. For Emily. She gripped the knife, but she knew she couldn't use it. She took a deep breath. Where's my sister? Where is Emily? Silence stretched for an eternity. The answer man let out a low hum, a sound of amusement. Emily. He repeated the name, tasting it. Emily is close. Very close. Sarah was confused. What do you mean? Is she alive? Is she here? She is in the booth, the voice said. She has been waiting for you to pick up the phone for 3 years. But you never came until tonight. Sarah's blood ran cold. In the booth? Under the floor. Wait, if Emily is in the booth, and the answer man is here, then who is in the booth? Suddenly, the voice behind her changed. It wasn't a deep, demonic voice anymore. It was a soft, crying voice. Sarah, why didn't you come for me? It was Emily's voice. Unmistakable. Sarah, look at me. Please look at me. Emotion overtook reason. Sarah forgot the rule. She forgot the danger. She just wanted to see her sister, Emily. Sarah turned around. The police found Sarah's apartment empty. There was no sign of a struggle. The door was still locked from the inside. The only thing they found was her mobile phone on the kitchen floor and an old coin, a dime from 1979. But there is a new rumor on the deep web. If you go to the phone booth on Route 9, and if you perform the ritual, you won't get the answer man anymore. Instead, a woman will answer. She sounds desperate. She sounds sad, and if you ask her a question, she will only say one thing: don't turn round.